What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we're doing another experiment type video. We went to the community files and found this like a week back, and I kind of wanted to use it now. This is what if the top 100 players were gone from the NFL. Now, the thing is, I didn't see any more recent ones. This was probably like not even many weeks after the NFL season started, so you know, I would say based on last season, I can't really remember every single player off the top of my head, but I would say maybe somewhere in the 5-player range or so, there would be, the top 100 of the top 100. They would be different than the ones that were here because obviously as the season goes on, things like Josh Allen going off would change that. But ultimately, I think this could still be a fun challenge, and the majority of, the top 100 players that we all know and love would be, pretty much the same. If you guys want to do this yourselves, or maybe use it for a franchise, I'm actually kind of thinking maybe even doing this as a rebuild, perhaps. Kind of want to do, like, special roster rebuilds. This is on last gen, current gen, whatever you want to call it. Hydra Magic. You should be able to type in just, like, top 100 and find it, but I believe the person's name is Hydra Magic. And, yeah, that's really all I can tell you. As far as overalls go, I didn't think it was actually going to affect teams this hard. Maybe it's just because the majority of the top 100 players would be quarterbacks. And, let's say, 15 quarterbacks that were, starters are gone and they have no good backups. The overall is going to drop a lot. And this is kind of crazy that we actually chose the highest overall team in the Niners. But look at these overalls. You got to remember, for the most part, even early in Madden, the most of the overalls would have been in the low 80s, so maybe the league average being like an 82, 83 overall. But even then, you're seeing some really low overalls. Top 100 players, they didn't have a quarterback top 100. They're like, what are you guys all crying about? I don't understand the issue. There's what? You lost your quarterback? What's a quarterback? The Niners are easily the highest. That's kind of why we went over to them, just because they're likely to win the Super Bowl, and I want to be a winner. But let's actually take a look, and maybe we can actually guess as well. Once again, the roster is going to be a little out of date, I would imagine. So we can't completely guess who was gone. I should have went like by team. So we would assume that of the top 100, Mac would have been on the Bears. I can't think if there would have been another one. The Bengals, would they even have lost a single player? I don't think they did, actually. I don't think they lost a single player due to being... Oh, that's so sad. The Bills, I don't know if they would have lost anyone either. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure, because remember, once again, you got to remember Josh Allen. Oh, Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White for sure. This would have been Von Miller and then Simmons. I think Von Miller and Simmons would have been the Broncos. For the Browns, there actually probably would have been a decent bit. Odell, Chubb, Myles Garrett. Maybe an offensive lineman. Once again, Teller is probably a really low overall here. Wyatt Teller is a 68 overall on his roster. It's insane. Baker might be gone. No, he's here. Yeah, so they appear to have about 3 guys missing, maybe more. I'm trying to think of it. I don't think they would have had more than 3 based on this roster. As far as the Buccaneers, it looks like Brady's gone. Mike Evans is gone. Godwin is gone. Gronk would have been a 95 overall, so he's gone. That's 4 players already, and maybe more. I can't, my brain's all over the place sometimes. And it looks like they might have also lost Shaquille. That's 5 players off the Buccaneers. So that roster is obviously super sick. Looking at the Cardinals, Hopkins, and that might be it. Oh, Hopkins and Murray. Hopkins and Murray are gone. There could have been someone else, but that might be the only 2. As far as the Chargers, Bosa and maybe someone else. I think it's just Bosa here. Oh, Keenan Allen and Bosa. Maybe Henry, 85 overall. Obviously, he's not on their team anymore. The Chiefs had a few. Tyreek, Kelsey, Chris Jones, Mahomes. And there could have been another one. I don't think so, though. I think those are the 4. The Colts, Quentin Nelson, Buckner. I think those are the only 2, though. Cowboys, a lot of them. Half their line pretty much. Well, I guess half their line retired already anyways. Zach Martin, Tyron, Dak. Actually, I don't know. Dak. Yeah, Dak, Zeke, Cooper. They might have had the most. I don't know what overall. Because Lawrence was actually, considered still pretty high at this point. So, yeah, they had about 5 or 6 themselves. I'm just going to quickly go over this now. Like, as much as it is fun to try and guess who, left and all that, The video will probably be like a 30-minute video if not. So, just going to be honest, that's seeming like too much of an effort for me. Wait, was that actually what the Rams roster kind of started out with? Because I always like try to remember, looking back at our Rams the year's franchise and see how bad they were. This wasn't that good of a roster to start out. Obviously, you had Ramsey and Donald, but I mean, not a great team. This was what Goff started off with, because I remember he wasn't, his ratings weren't that bad. 89 throw power, those accuracies, that's not terrible. Trigger happy sense of pressure, that's not bad, but it's not great. 25 normal. To get him where we did, not bad actually. Whitworth, he did obviously retire after year 1. Robert Woods got rid of right away. I mean, this wasn't. I mean, the team had potential, obviously, but what are the players that they lost here due to being top tier team? Johnson, Ramsey, and Donald. I think that's it, right? I mean, was this the team? Like, this what we started with? I mean, they had some potential here and there, but I'm just saying, well, it wasn't that crazy good, and just it wasn't like the craziest team of all time. So, I mean, we did pretty good, right? It's hard to, think of the Rams as a bad team because I don't think they were a bad choice, but I think the Rams are like the perfect team for us to rebuild, where like an average or below average user would probably never get them even close to the playoffs, whereas, a good to above good average user can easily get them to the playoffs and, maybe do it all because, I mean, they are an okay roster. They got their spots, and we obviously made some sick moves. Don't know why it's just become like a Rams-loving party here, but let's actually see what happens in the league according to the game. Of course, this is the 2020 season, so this is where the game would have expected the season to play out, start to finish in real life, kind of near Madden launch, and obviously we'll be able to compare that to how the actual league went. There should be a lot of different things here because obviously the top 100 players, there's a reason why they're the top 100 players, because they make plays, they change the game specifically at quarterback. You can see here Seattle nowhere near the playoffs, Rams nowhere near the playoffs, Cardinals, not too much worse in real life, I suppose. The Niners 9-7. So take a look at the entire league. So the Patriots at 13-3, the Eagles at 12-4, the Bears at 12-4, the Bengals at 12-4, Colts. The Jets are all the way up at 11-5, Broncos at 10-6. You're seeing a lot of teams that aren't really that strong at quarterback, and now they're being played to that even playing field, right? The Eagles quarterback situation a little iffy. Same with the Patriots, the Bears, the Bengals. Burrow's superstar, but he's not super high. Phillip Rivers is one of the higher overalls with 100 players gone, but that's not crazy high. The Browns, obviously, with or without, they still have a sick loaded roster. Jets loving the new change. Broncos, same. I mean, you can see a lot of these teams, if not all the teams pretty much that made the playoffs, outside of what? The Packers, Niners kind of count because Jimmy Garoppolo's an okay overall, but, really none of these teams had an super OP quarterback other than what? The Packers, and then you can maybe make an argument for Drew Brees and the Saints. But yeah, you notice that like the teams that did worse typically were the teams that did have a top-tier quarterback, but they obviously lost them due to, losing the top 100 players. We're going to look at the whole league because obviously we don't have any like personal ties to this. Looking at the league, I mean, Cam Newton always playing like a top 100 player. 4,700 yards. Look at the names: Jordan Love, Minshew, Blake Bortles, Winston, McCarron, Gabbert, Drew Lock, Jalen Hurts, Jones, Trevor Siemian's a starter. Oh my. Sam Darnold, obviously no longer a Jet anyways. Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy B, Josh Allen, obviously lower end because no one really expected the glow up he had. Matt Moore, Jared Goff. You can see the main thing though is the touchdowns, the picks. Geno Smith, touchdown to pick ratio is pretty rough outside of what, like a few names as far as Madden Sim goes. Usually you see stuff like 38-13 constantly. But yeah, a little low on the touchdown to pick ratio. As far as running backs go, you have Mixon. Bell is back in the mix. Kareem Hunt, obviously, is a god no matter what. Leonard Fournette has a Jaguar. What? Wait, I'm so... What? That is so old. That is how old this is. This must be like pre-week 1, right? That's insane. Marlon Mack, Sanders, Carson, Jamal Williams, starter there. James Conner, Latavius Murray. I feel like he could actually be a pretty good starter still. Mark Ingram. Interesting to say the least. How many touchdowns do people have? 14 first. So only 4 guys reached the double-digit touchdown mark. wide receivers Edelman, Sanu, Westbrook, Humphreys, Pascal. I mean, there's some, outside of like a few names, there's some pretty, rough names here on the list. Touchdowns, only like 6 in the double digits. So, I mean, it's a definite change for sure. Mekhi Becton, I'm surprised he actually played as badly as he did. Although, I mean, you guys seen our 15-year Jets thingy. Olivier Vernon, always good in sim. Always good in sim. Calais Campbell was apparently not one of his top 100 players, which I can say he is a little overrated, at least as of last season. But I suppose, that really wouldn't have played a factor into his ratings too much. Or his removal, I suppose. Miles Jack. A lot of randomer names. Were any of the kickers, did we see Tucker gone? I think that's pretty cool that he actually... Oh, maybe he didn't add Tucker, actually, because, it was pretty low. He actually removed Tucker, which is pretty cool. Obviously, Harrison Butker in the game now is very solid. He's actually probably my number one pick for best kicker in the game for franchise. Obviously, the age is quite a bit better now. He is superstar in the game. Punter wouldn't have really matter. Returns and all that wouldn't have matter. Was that Derrick Henry, by the way? What the hell was that? Yearly awards, the league MVP. Of course, this will happen half the time, whether the top 100 players are gone or not. 13-3, the Patriots with Cam Newton. Any running backs in there now because of... No, it's still quarterbacks. It does not matter. Does not matter. Coach of the year would have went to that one guy we know. Here's all the awards. We'll take a quick look at all of them. I don't really think there's going to be anything that's going to blow us out of the water here. It's once Cam Newton wins MVP, the whole element of surprise is kind of gone. It's 70-some overall won MVP. Sweet. that made everything so much better. Let's go over to the NFC side now. Blake Bortles, Offensive Player of the Year. Blaine Gabbert, Best Quarterback. What is this? 64 overall. I mean, the top 100 players are gone. Doesn't mean you have to start a bottom 100 player. What in the world is that? But here we are going against the Falcons, one of the other higher overall teams. They cannot beat us. The Saints now beat them as well. Going against the Eagles. Can they do it? They do. And you know what? I mean, we didn't force any wins or anything. This is kind of like a miracle, kind of perfect scenario where we get to watch it, see what happens. Let's bask in this perfect experiment glory. Tampa Bay. Another bask in the moment of the Super Bowl not being played by the home team in the home stadium. Just throwing these more fun ideas out there. I don't want this. I don't know why that happened. 7-all in the second quarter. Nearing the third quarter, you're seeing a 7-point lead. That's just the things we do when we're on team. 7-point lead is gone. It's only 3. Now it's 7. Now it's none. Now it's the fourth quarter. Once again, I have no ties to this. It would be kind of unclutch, though, for the Niners to blow this. It's slow sim because they look like they're going to do it, and it's looking pretty good. And they run out of time. In fairness, they needed a touchdown. I thought they needed a field goal. All right. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league because all the other ones were removed. Oh, my Lord. Who do you guys think the Niners are going to take at quarterback? There's so many options. A lot of Mac Jones rumors. I'm not sure if those have true value to it, but if your guy is Mac Jones, I'd be pretty mad as a Niners fan. You could have traded up to 5. I don't know who is 5. I think they could have traded up to 5. If, obviously you got to have a team that's willing, but maybe that is a lot of, maybe that was a big factor, is that they had to find a team in the top 5 that were actually willing to trade down, and maybe that was the only one that was willing to trade down with them. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, Mac Jones at 3 would be a hell of a reach, considering you had to trade up. If you didn't have to trade up, okay, maybe it's your favorite guy, maybe you liked him, I guess, but if that's who you're taking because of with a trade up, woo! That's a sell. Could have saved at least a second-round pick if they would have, not reached, right? At least, I would imagine. And I don't even remember if they gave up a second round, but a second round in value. If you gave up 3 first-round picks, a second round in value is still a second round in value, You could have given up like a third and then kept a first or something. I don't know. You know. But, these are the numbers. I don't think it really matters, but interesting to say the least. I don't like this NFL without the top 100 players. I'll be honest. It's like the sad part of a rebuild for me. It's like when all the players I know are gone, and now I have like Chase and and Michaels, all these random CPU generated names that are complete garbage, and every damn lineman's a normal dev guy. It makes me sad. All right, that's the long story short. If there is another roster kind of similar to this, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to take a look at it, or maybe make a rebuild out of it. I think these kind of rosters are kind of cool. Top 100 players are gone, or I think that's a pretty fair, kind of fun one that's not super unrealistic. Unlike, what if every quarterback was a wide receiver? Like something that's realistic. I can't really think of a great idea for it. Or, what if everyone in the NFL was really, really slow? Like the just slow bug just hit everyone and everyone dropped to like 80 speed or something. I don't know. But anyways, if you enjoyed this, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays, twitch.tv/Jeromepkr, could be a stream tonight, who freaking knows, but appreciate you watching. Of course, once again, if you want to see, try to this out yourself, maybe you want to do a franchise with it, you want to do a rebuild with it, this is the top 100 NFL players gone by Mr. Hydra Magic, so there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video,